Welcome back to another explainer. And wow, today's topic is an absolutely fascinating one. We are diving into a deeply conceptual, almost mysterious theological vision for the year 2026. We're going to unpack the blueprint for the Ten Commandments in modernity, really looking at how ancient, thousands of years old texts are being radically reimagined for our current, ultra fast digital landscape. Okay, let's dive into this. Just picture the sheer contrast here. On one side, we have the ultimate symbol of permanence, ancient laws carved into literal stone, designed to last for millennia without changing a single character. And then, that immovable object crashes right into our current reality, the hyper-digital, fleeting landscape of 2026. We're talking about constant connectivity, shifting algorithms, you name it. It's the ultimate immovable object meeting the most unstoppable digital force. So what does this all mean for us? Well, it brings us to the core puzzle of this entire explainer. How do we teach theology today? It's a massive, massive challenge. When the foundational texts of your entire worldview are thousands of years old, how in the world do you make them powerful, relevant, and engaging in an era that's completely defined by scrolling and swiping? How do you make sure these monumental concepts aren't just sitting preserved in some dusty museum, but are actually being taught and understood right now? Section 1. Ancient Laws. Digital Age. The digital intersection. We're dealing with a profound paradox here. I mean, think about applying ancient commandments in a highly digital, totally attention-driven 2026. These incredibly weighty, foundational truths are colliding head-on with modern, fleeting digital concepts. It really highlights this fascinating friction, right? The friction between taking the time to actually sit down and ponder deep theological truths versus the modern demand for immediate, easily consumable information. Section 2. Mandeville's 2026 Theological Vision. The Theological Approach. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is Reverend Benjamin Mandeville's vision. Because this isn't about retreating to those dusty libraries we talked about earlier. No, it's a visionary approach, completely focused on teaching theology through powerful, intriguing, and viral modern mediums. The ultimate goal here is to take the core tenets of theology and just inject them directly into the mainstream digital consciousness by making the education process completely captivating. And the source material actually gives us the exact mandate for how to achieve this. Quote, make a powerful and viral type for my YouTube long video. I mean, talk about a brilliant moment of meta-awareness, right? The very explainer you're watching right now is a direct manifestation of this source text. The strategy intentionally leverages long-form content to spread these deep ideas, recognizing that mastering these platforms isn't just a gimmick, it's absolutely essential for modern education. Section 3. The Commandments in Modernity. Ethics in Modern Life. So how does this actually work in practice? The exact mechanics of this vision basically rely on 3 steps. First, merging ancient ethics with modern life. Second, making theology intriguing. Because let's be honest, if it's boring, the message simply dies in the modern era. And third, grounding the digital era in fundamental laws. The Ten Commandments aren't being treated as outdated historical artifacts here at all. They're being used as the ultimate grounding mechanism for our pretty chaotic modern reality. Which leads us to a really provocative question, doesn't it? Can stone tablets survive the algorithm? In a landscape that's literally designed to push the newest, loudest, most controversial, fleeting trend, can ancient wisdom actually hold our attention? It is the ultimate test of endurance for theological teachings. Section 4. Teaching Theology Virally. Metrics of Success. Let this number really sink in for a second. 2026. This isn't some historical retrospective. This is the crucial, current context for Reverend Benjamin Mandeville's vision. To teach theology today, you literally have to speak the language of today. And in 2026, that language is entirely digital. And this brilliantly illustrates the progression here. Notice how we start with standard theology output, maybe a bit dry, a bit low in engagement. But when you apply the viral explainer format, much like the one we're utilizing right now, you get a massive bump in improved watch hours. And here's the kicker. This isn't some cynical play for internet cloud. In this vision, improving watch hours is actually a deeply theological goal. Because ultimately, improving watch hours literally equals more time spent teaching theology. In the modern era, you simply cannot teach a student who isn't paying attention. Capturing that attention and then actually holding it through engaging, long-form content is step 1. The algorithm demands watch hours, so fulfilling that demand becomes the necessary vehicle for delivering profound spiritual and ethical education. It's kind of genius when you think about it. Section 5, the digital call to action, active participation. Let's move to and see how this builds in a complete cycle. Step 1, you actively engage with the concepts of the Ten Commandments. Step 2, you begin to actually understand their specific place and relevance in modernity, rather than just viewing them as something from antiquity. And finally, Step 3, you take action to spread Mondavi's 2026 vision. It's a continuous, dynamic cycle of learning, understanding, and then actively propagating that knowledge. And how exactly is that knowledge propagated in 2026? Well, you like, you share, and you subscribe. The source material explicitly mandates these actions. In the context of this explainer, these aren't just standard interface buttons below a media player. No, they are the 2026 method for doing exactly what ancient teachers told their followers to do: spread the word. By engaging with these digital tools, you're actively participating in a theological movement, making sure these teachings reach a wider audience and conquer that algorithm. So, I want to leave you with a final, really powerful question. How will you apply the Ten Commandments to your digital life in 2026? As we've seen through Reverend Benjamin Mondavi's vision today, ancient texts and modern screens absolutely do not have to be at odds. In fact, merging them might just be the most intriguing, effective way to teach and learn today. I really hope this explainer has left you reflecting on your own modern morality and eager to explore this fascinating intersection even further. Thank you so much for learning with me today,